So the Minnesota Vikings have unofficially released their first unofficial depth chart of the season, and one position group that we were all kind of wondering what is going to happen, who's going to be the starters, kind of who are we going to see on the field on Sundays. That happens to be the cornerback position, because last year, we ranked 31st in passing yards allowed. Absolutely garbage, if you ask me. But we knew that the cornerback room was going to get renovated or reinvented, basically, if you will. I guess you could kind of come up with a different word, but you get what I'm saying. It was just going to be reworked, with the hiring of Brian Flores, who's a defense guru and a cornerback guru at that. And we lost, 5 veterans on the team, Patrick Peterson being one of them, Cam Bynum, blah, blah, blah. You get it, We lost 5 people. So this whole cornerback room was going to be reworked. Who's going to be the guys to start for our Minnesota Vikings? Well, hey, we might have just solved that mystery per this article. It said, meanwhile, Vikings faithful have wondered for months who might emerge as the other starting cornerback next to the aforementioned Byron Murphy Jr., who we picked up this offseason free agency. And if the team's first depth chart is a reasonable indicator, it should be, the mystery might be solved. Akayleb Evans. Kind of shocker. It's a big shocker to me. I didn't think he was going to take over a starting role. I knew he was going to take over a starting role just because of what I was hearing in camp, but I didn't think it was going to be at the number 2 slot. We've heard a lot about Jawan Williams performing pretty decently, Byron Murphy Jr., and then Akayleb Evans worked his way. What about Andrew Booth Jr., who was actually drafted ahead of Akayleb Evans? So there was a lot of question marks, but Akayleb Evans apparently has been performing well. Here is the release of the Vikings Unofficial depth chart, which was yesterday. Now, Evans is listed in the cornerback 2 spot. Right here, we got Byron Murphy at number 1, Akayleb Evans at 2, Andrew Booth at 3, Jawan Williams 4, Mekhi Blackmon at 5. So those are our top corners so far. Now, take in mind, this is an unofficial depth chart. This means absolutely nothing. This is just the depth chart going into preseason, because there's going to be a lot of these guys. I guarantee you, at least 4 of these guys will not make the team. Maybe at least 3. There's potential possibility that 4 of them won't make the team, just because I feel like you need a lot of depth at corner going into the regular season, because you never know what can happen pending injuries and stuff like that. Some of these guys will probably make the practice squad, which is great. But Akayleb Evans getting that number 2 cornerback role is awesome. Last year he played, at least when he was in the ball game, he played exceptionally well. I thought he was aggressive. At the point of attack, he always went for the ball, made some good tackles. He seemed like he was playing football. He didn't seem like he was going to go out there and how every Minnesota Vikings defender wanted to do and just try to punch at the ball and not tackle the guy and allow 2 to 3 yards and stuff like that. But Akayleb Evans is in that 2 spot, which is awesome. Good for him. Hopefully he has a great season this year. However, that wasn't the case at the beginning of camp, So with camp underway for a few days, Jawan Williams was perhaps on the tap to be the guy at cornerback 2 behind Byron Murphy Jr., evidenced by his role with the first teamers. But as week 2 of camp finished, last year's rookie Akayleb Evans with a side dish of 2023 rookie Mekhi Blackmon entered the chat. Evans, not Jawan Williams, is enjoying most of the cornerback 2 snaps, a change of pace from the first week. Now, this just could be the team trying to find the right roles, find the right personnel for, who's going to go into the season as the starters. So Jawan Williams could make his way back up there, especially if he has a really good preseason, and Akayleb Evans doesn't have good preseason. But a 4th-round pick from the 2022 NFL Draft, Evans suffered a few concussions last season and ultimately missed 7 games. But like I said, when he played, Evans looked the part, especially in a game on the road at the Washington Commanders. Now, Evans possibly staying a starter's job at cornerback would be noteworthy for a couple of reasons. Foremost, it will have meant he kept last year's second-rounder Andrew Booth at bay on the depth chart. Based on draft placement, Booth should probably win that cornerback job in question, but we shall see. He's been dealing with a little bit of an injury. He said he's okay. Last year wasn't the greatest year for him and stuff like that. So, look, it's a new defense. It's a new defensive coordinator. Things are going to happen. Things are going to change. Who cares, right? But 2, if Evans starts week 1, it will prove his rookie performance was not an outlier. Now, Vikings general manager Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah told the Pioneer Press last year he became fascinated with Evans during late-night scouting sessions with the lights off. And I think we all kind of became fascinated with Akayleb Evans. He didn't play a lot, right? But when he did play, you knew he was on the field. Like, you could sense that he was around there. He was going to try to make a play, and he was going to play fundamentally sound football. That's at least what I seen. I was always waiting for. I like the young guys, okay, because it gives them a chance to prove their worth, prove why they're on the roster. And hey, you never know if you got a superstar sitting on the bench. You never know. So Akayleb Evans could turn out to be an absolute dog, but we have no idea at this point in time. This is the unofficial depth chart going into preseason. Things could change, okay, going to week 1. People could perform poorly in preseason games. People could perform exceptionally well in preseason games, and things could shift on that depth chart. But as of right now, our cornerback mystery might just be solved with Byron Murphy Jr. as the starter. Across from him will be Akayleb Evans, and in the third spot will be Andrew Booth Jr. On the bench, we already know Jawan Williams and Mekhi Blackman are going to be sitting there waiting, hungry for their time to shine. Akayleb Evans starting at cornerback 2 spot. Our cornerback mystery has officially been solved, at least for this time, or for at least this moment in time. So let me know in the comments what you think about this. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It would be much, much appreciated. Have a great rest of your night, folks, and Skol Vikes.